Picture this. You're a man in your 20s, young, strong, and full of energy. The last thing on your mind is your prostate. Why would you even think about it? You're healthy. You're invincible. Now fast forward to your 40s, and suddenly those late-night bathroom trips are happening more often. By 60, maybe you're worried about your PSA levels, prostate enlargement, or worse, cancer. Here's the shocking truth. 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. And benign prostatic hyperplasia, better known as prostate enlargement, affects about 50% of men by age 50 and up to 90% by age 80. But here's the part most men don't realize. According to leading urologists, what you do starting in your 20s and 30s can literally decide the health of your prostate in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. Today, you're going to discover the 7 habits urologists say are essential for protecting your prostate at any age, whether you're 20, 40, or 60 plus. And habit number 6, almost no men think about it, yet studies show it could cut your prostate cancer risk dramatically. Stay tuned, because if you're serious about keeping your prostate healthy for life, you don't want to miss this. Most men only start worrying about their prostate once symptoms appear, like weak urine flow, frequent urination, or erectile issues. But by then, the damage may already be underway. The good news? Science now shows that simple daily habits, not expensive treatments, not gimmicks, not scary procedures, can dramatically reduce your risks. In fact, a groundbreaking Harvard study followed over 47,000 men for decades and found that just a few lifestyle shifts lowered prostate cancer risk by more than 50%. So, what are these habits? How do they protect you? And why aren't doctors talking about them enough? Stick with me, because we're breaking down the truth step by step. Let's be real. If you're watching this, chances are you or someone you care about has worried about prostate health. Maybe it's the constant urge to pee at night. Maybe it's the fear of prostate cancer, which takes the life of nearly 34,000 American men every single year. Or maybe it's the silent anxiety of erectile dysfunction, which can often be linked to poor prostate health. Here's the thing. Men are notorious for ignoring their health. Surveys show that men are far less likely than women to go for regular checkups. And when it comes to prostate issues, embarrassment often keeps men silent until symptoms can't be ignored. But what if protecting your prostate wasn't complicated? What if it came down to 7 habits? Habits you could start today at 20, 40, or 60 and safeguard your future health, confidence, and performance? Before we dive in, let's make one thing clear. This isn't guesswork. These 7 habits are drawn from decades of clinical research, peer-reviewed studies, and recommendations from top urologists across the U.S., including experts at the Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, and Harvard Medical School. For example, the American Urological Association states that lifestyle choices play a huge role in both benign prostatic hyperplasia (BPH) and prostate cancer risk. And Dr. Mark Garnick, a clinical professor of urology at Harvard, has repeatedly emphasized that prostate health is heavily influenced by what you eat, how you move, and the daily routines you build. So if you've ever wondered, what can I actually do to keep my prostate healthy? This is your roadmap. We're about to dive into the 7 urologist-approved habits that protect your prostate from your 20s through your 60s and beyond. Some of these you might expect, like diet and exercise, but others will surprise you. And remember, it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Even small changes today can add up to a lifetime of protection. Let's start with top 7 habits one by one. Habit number 1, eat a prostate protective diet. Let's start with the single most powerful weapon you have against prostate problems, your diet. What you put on your plate every day either protects your prostate or slowly damages it. Here's the shocking truth. Men who eat a Western-style diet, high in red meat, processed foods, and sugary drinks, have up to a 60% higher risk of aggressive prostate cancer compared to men who follow a plant-forward Mediterranean-style diet. Think about that for a second. Just the way you eat could mean the difference between facing prostate surgery in your 60s or never dealing with it at all. But let's break this down so it's practical. The prostate protective foods, tomatoes and cooked tomato products, rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant shown in multiple studies, including one from Harvard, to reduce prostate cancer risk. Men who ate 2 servings of tomato sauce per week had a 23% lower risk of prostate cancer. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, These contain sulforaphane, a compound that helps detox harmful estrogens and supports prostate cell health. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation and lower the risk of prostate enlargement. Green tea. In Japan, where green tea consumption is high, prostate cancer rates are dramatically lower. Catechins in green tea actively inhibit prostate tumor growth. The prostate killers to avoid: processed meats like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, linked to higher cancer risk. Excess dairy, especially whole milk, has been associated in some studies with increased prostate cancer risk. Sugary drinks and refined carbs, which spike insulin, feed inflammation, and accelerate prostate growth. So here's the takeaway. If you want your prostate to stay healthy, eat like your heart depends on it. Because the same diet that prevents heart disease, Mediterranean, plant-heavy, rich in healthy fats, is also the one that protects your prostate. Habit number 2, stay active, keep blood flowing. Now, let's move on to habit number 2, exercise. This one might surprise you. Exercise doesn't just keep your waistline in check, it directly protects your prostate. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology followed men with prostate cancer who exercised vigorously at least 3 hours per week. Their risk of dying from prostate cancer was cut by 61%. Let that sink in. Just by moving your body, you slash your risk by more than half. But why does this happen? The answer is blood flow and hormones. When you exercise, you increase circulation to the pelvic region, which keeps prostate tissue healthy. You reduce inflammation, which is a major driver of prostate enlargement. You balance hormones like insulin and testosterone, which directly affect prostate growth. On the other hand, sitting for long periods, what scientists now call the new smoking, is terrible for your prostate. Men who sit for more than 8 hours a day have significantly higher rates of BPH, or prostate enlargement. And here's a kicker most men don't know. Obesity nearly doubles your risk of aggressive prostate cancer. Carrying extra belly fat alters your hormone balance, raises estrogen levels, and creates chronic inflammation, all of which fuel prostate problems. So here's what urologists recommend. 150 minutes of moderate exercise each week, like brisk walking, cycling, or swimming. Mix in strength training twice a week because lean muscle mass helps regulate testosterone and metabolism. And don't underestimate pelvic floor exercises. Yes, Kegels aren't just for women. Strengthening those muscles improves bladder control and sexual performance while supporting prostate health. We've talked about food and movement, but here's the twist. Even if you eat perfectly and exercise daily, there's another habit that could still sabotage your prostate, one that most men never think about until it's too late. Habit number 3, hydrate smart, protect your bladder and prostate. Let's talk about water. Sounds simple, right? But the way you hydrate could be making or breaking your prostate health. Here's what most men don't realize. Your prostate and your bladder are teammates. When one suffers, the other gets dragged down with it. And one of the fastest ways to create trouble for both? Poor hydration habits. Too little water and your urine becomes concentrated, irritating the bladder and increasing the urge to pee. Over time, this can put pressure on the prostate and worsen symptoms of BPH, like frequent urination and weak stream. Too much alcohol and caffeine and you've got another problem. Both act as diuretics, meaning they make your bladder work overtime. A 2013 study in the journal Urology found that men who consumed high amounts of caffeine were 72% more likely to report urinary urgency and frequency. And late-night drinking, whether it's beer, soda, or coffee, often leads to those dreaded 3 a.m. bathroom trips. So what's the urologist's advice? The hydration formula for prostate health. Drink 6 to 8 glasses of water daily, spread throughout the day. Limit alcohol to no more than 1 drink per day. Cut back on late-night caffeine and fluids after dinner to reduce nighttime urination. And here's a pro tip. Try adding green tea into your routine. Not only does it hydrate, but it delivers prostate-protective catechins shown to lower cancer risk. Habit number 4, maintain a healthy sexual routine. Now here's where things get interesting. Most men don't expect their sex life to play a role in prostate health, but it does. In fact, research suggests that regular ejaculation, yes, you heard that right, may actually protect your prostate. A landmark study from Harvard, published in European Urology, followed over 30,000 men for nearly 2 decades. The results? Men who ejaculated 21 times or more per month had a 20% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated 4 to 7 times. Why? Scientists believe that regular release helps flush out toxins and reduce the buildup of carcinogens in prostate fluid. It's like giving your prostate a routine cleaning. But here's the flip side. Irregular or unhealthy sexual habits like excessive porn use, death grip masturbation, or using sex purely as a stress escape can backfire. These behaviors may desensitize nerves, cause pelvic floor tension, and even contribute to erectile dysfunction, which often overlaps with prostate issues. The balanced approach urologists recommend: maintain a regular sexual routine through intimacy with a partner or healthy solo activity. Avoid over-reliance on porn, which trains your brain for unrealistic arousal patterns. Pay attention to pelvic floor health. Relaxation and exercises like Kegels help maintain circulation and nerve sensitivity. Here's something to think about. Could your current habits be supporting your prostate or silently harming it? Be honest with yourself, because awareness is the first step toward change. We've covered diet, exercise, hydration, and sexual health. But even if you nail all of these, there's another invisible force at work. One that urologists warn is just as dangerous as a bad diet. It's something most men shrug off every single day, yet it silently weakens your prostate, your hormones, and even your immune system. That's habit number 5. And if you don't get this one right, the others can only do so much. Habit number 5. Manage stress to protect your hormones and prostate. Stress, it's the silent saboteur. Most men laugh it off. I'm fine, I can handle it. But here's the truth. Your prostate doesn't find it funny. When you're under chronic stress, your body pumps out excess cortisol, the stress hormone. That cortisol doesn't just mess with your mood. It actively lowers testosterone, disrupts sleep, and fuels inflammation throughout your body, including your prostate. A study published in the Prostate found that men with high stress levels had significantly higher rates of prostate inflammation and urinary problems. And here's the kicker. Stress doesn't just make your prostate feel worse, it can accelerate the very conditions we're trying to prevent, from BPH to even cancer progression. Think about it. How many times have you noticed your urinary symptoms flare up during a stressful period? Maybe during a work deadline, financial struggles, or family tension. It's not a coincidence. The stress relief formula urologists recommend: prioritize deep sleep, 7 to 8 hours every night to reset cortisol levels. Practice daily stress resets, meditation, prayer, deep breathing, or even a simple 10-minute walk outdoors. Cut back on doom scrolling and overstimulation from screens before bed. Protect your weekends. Rest is not laziness, it's medicine for your hormones. Habit number 6. Don't ignore screening and checkups. This is the habit most men avoid, and it's costing lives. Urologists agree, early detection is your shield. Here's the reality. Prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death among men in the United States. But catch it early, and the survival rate is nearly 100%. The problem? Too many men wait until it's too late. Regular checkups, especially after age 40, aren't about fear. They're about information. Knowing your PSA levels, your family history risk, and your prostate size gives you control. A 2021 American Cancer Society report revealed that men who went for annual screenings had a 45% higher chance of detecting cancer early compared to those who skipped. That's not a small number, it's life-changing. What urologists recommend? Start talking with your doctor about screenings by age 40 if you have family history, or by age 50 if not. Get a PSA blood test regularly. It's simple, quick, and can spot problems early. Don't ignore symptoms like painful urination, blood in urine or semen, or sudden difficulty starting and stopping flow. Skipping screenings doesn't make you strong, it makes you vulnerable. Facing them head-on makes you wise. We've talked about food, movement, hydration, intimacy, stress, and screenings. But there's one last habit that ties everything together, one that urologists say is the foundation of lifelong prostate protection. It's not about a pill, a supplement, or even a diet. It's about something deeper, something most men overlook until it's almost too late. That's habit number 7. And once you hear it, you'll understand why it might be the most important one of all. Habit number 7. Prioritize intimacy and healthy sexual function. Let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: your sex life. Not just because intimacy is pleasurable, but because it directly impacts prostate health in ways science is only beginning to fully understand. You see, the prostate's main job is producing seminal fluid. And like any system in the body, when it's used regularly, it functions better. When it stagnates, problems can arise. That's why researchers have been fascinated by the connection between ejaculation frequency and prostate cancer risk. One landmark study out of Harvard tracked tens of thousands of men for nearly 2 decades. The results? Men who ejaculated 21 or more times per month had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated just a few times monthly. Think about that. Something so natural, so simple, may literally protect your life, but it's not just about frequency, it's about balance. When intimacy happens in the context of a loving relationship, you get even more benefits. Lower stress, higher oxytocin, better sleep, and a sense of connection that no supplement can replace. And here's something urologists point out. Healthy sexual activity also keeps pelvic floor muscles active, improves circulation in the prostate area, and helps reduce inflammation. Now, of course, there's a caveat. Too much solo activity, especially when paired with high porn consumption, can backfire and cause the problems we discussed earlier. Erectile issues, desensitization, and emotional dependency. The big reveal, the overlooked habit that ties it all together. Now, earlier I promised to share one surprising habit that can lower your prostate cancer risk by almost half. And it ties directly into everything we've discussed so far. Ready? It's this: maintaining a healthy weight. Why? Because excess body fat isn't just stored energy, it's biologically active tissue. It pumps out inflammatory chemicals. It alters hormone balance by increasing estrogen and lowering free testosterone. And it creates the exact environment in which prostate problems, whether BPH, prostatitis, or cancer, thrive. A massive Oxford study found that obese men had nearly a 30% higher risk of dying from prostate cancer compared to men of healthy weight. That's not a small number. It's life-changing. Combine obesity with poor diet, stress, and inactivity, and you've got the perfect storm for prostate decline. But here's the flip side. Men who took control of their weight through consistent diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes not only lowered their cancer risk, but also reported better urinary function, stronger libido, and more confidence. In other words, weight control isn't just about looking good, it's about protecting your future. So let's step back for a moment. We've covered a lot in this video. Eat the foods your prostate loves: tomatoes, cruciferous vegetables, omega-3s, and cut down the junk. Move your body because exercise is medicine. Hydrate smart, water in, irritants like caffeine and alcohol down. Balance your hormones, sleep more, stress less. Fight inflammation every day. Don't skip checkups. Catch issues early. And finally, embrace intimacy because healthy sexual activity protects your prostate in more ways than one. Add to that the overlooked habit, maintaining a healthy weight, and you've got a blueprint not just for prostate health, but for energy, vitality, and confidence that lasts your whole life. Here's the truth, my friend. Your prostate may be small, but it has an outsized impact on your quality of life. Ignore it, and you risk years of discomfort, frustration, and fear. Protect it, and you set yourself up for decades of vitality, confidence, and strength. So if this video opened your eyes even a little, do me a favor. Hit that like button so more men can discover this life-changing information. Subscribe to this channel because we've got more research-backed strategies coming your way about men's health, energy, and performance. Remember, your health isn't something to gamble with. The best time to protect your prostate was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Start building these 7 habits now, and your future self, whether you're 40, 60, or 80, will thank you. Stay strong, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.